So one of the claims often made about Rwanda's genocide is that it was planned long in advance. It was a criminal conspiracy that was conceived by extremists sometime before the start of the Civil War in October 1990 and before the assassination of the president in April 1994. I'm not so sure. The proponents of the long-standing conspiracy thesis point to a few matters to support their claim. First, there is the claim that the genocide was meticulously executed and implemented so quickly that it must have been planned well in advance. Well, we now know, largely through the minutes of the various crisis meetings that took place in the few days immediately after the president was killed, that things did not go according to plan for the extremists. Colonel Theonest Bagosora, one of the key extremists at the center of the power struggle, faced two major setbacks to his designs. Moderates succeeded in maintaining civilian rule over Bagosora's preference for military rule, and moderates also succeeded in appointing their choice as army chief of staff over that of Bagosora. So the extremist plan for what it was seemed more improvised than well-designed. The power struggle that followed the president's assassination could well have resolved in favor of either the moderates or the extremists in the first few days after the assassination. A second claim is that the various Tutsi massacres that occurred in the years before the genocide were some kind of dress rehearsal for the real thing. Many were committed by ordinary Rwandans with the acquiescence or support of local authorities. So on the face of it, then, they do appear similar in form to the genocide. But there's another interpretation. The massacres were, in fact, mostly retributive in nature. They were retaliation for RPF, the rebel groups, incursions, not practice or rehearsals for genocide. So the RPF attacks, Tutsi civilians are punished. This type of retributive massacre has a long history in Rwanda that goes back to the 1960s, when the Tutsi refugees from Rwanda's revolution made various efforts at armed return. Each one of these was followed by some form of Tutsi retaliation or violence against Tutsis. A third claim is in respect of the military training of the Interahamwe, who were originally the youth wing of the ruling party, and also the stockpiling of machetes. So according to the conspiracy thesis, the weapons were being collected and young men trained in order to implement the genocidal plan. Yet these facts, too, are susceptible to alternative interpretation. These actions are consistent also, for example, with the government's preparation for total war, to mobilize as many Rwandans as possible to defend the country against the RPF, who by this time were militarily superior to the government's forces. So, in short, while I cannot rule out the possibility, the idea that the genocide was conceived sometime before the president's assassination, it is not clear that this plan was widely accepted or even widely known among the ruling elite, or that it was rigorously designed and well prepared before the president was killed.